Yeah, so I have a couple examples here that I could give you that might be able to like paint it a little bit. So here's an analogy, sort of the inverse. The telling your date that, so all the exes got 5-star meals, but she gets McDonald's because you've turned over a new leaf and decided that money has better uses than just trying to impress people. That's one example. So you're on a date with a guy, you know that he took all his previous ex-girlfriends that he dated, all the other girls he's seen, on these really elaborate, really nice dinners, and he doesn't have any financial issues or anything. He took them on fantastic dinners, spent $100-200, but he takes you to McDonald's.
I have something to say to that. What if that man was fine with taking all these women out to nice dinners because he didn't want anything with this girl, and then he finds a girl he likes and he wants to make sure she's not a gold digger, so he takes her to McDonald's? That's exactly what women are saying, that sometimes
so you'd be cool with that, is what you're saying?
If that's his reasoning, if later on he does take me out to a nice dinner, we have this conversation.
But like, don't worry about later on. First of all, you know that this man chops out. He goes for the filet mignon, and he tells her to wear a nice red dress, and they go out and they hit the town. Your turn comes around, and it's Macca's.
But I think
and he says, I'm going to make sure you're not a gold digger.
I think where this differs is, are you saying this, if this man knows that you've had these one night stands, you've slept around, and he doesn't want to pursue you, that's completely okay.
But like, no. Like, stick to the question for a second.
Sure.
Would you be okay with that situation? And then him saying to you, I'm not taking you because I want to make sure you're not a gold digger.
Yeah.
Did he make sure that everyone else is not a gold digger?
But he didn't want to pursue.
How do you know that?
Past. Well, that's what we're saying. We're saying like, if
but don't you think there'd be a double standard though? If he said to you, look, first date we're going to Macca's, just want to make sure you're not a gold digger, but then you're thinking to yourself, but you took everyone else to the filet mignon.
I think it would be a double standard if he didn't plan to see me again the same way.
But you don't know what he's thinking though. This is just objective, looking at it straight up. There's 5 ducks in a row. One of them is black.
Sure, but you can't make that comparison when this whole conversation has been what differs between a relationship and one night stands is because when some of these girls might sleep with them right away, they're not envisioning a relationship. They don't want to see them past this 1 hookup, 2 hookups.
But like,
so
don't you think that there's something that you're giving away that's special there? That's what we're trying to get at. When we're saying he's done this special act for 4 other girls, and then you come around, and then you're not getting that special act just yet. You have to wait for it.
I think there's different ideas of special. Sure, I think everyone thinks that sex is special, but I also feel like letting someone in to know my personality is also special. So like, if I'm waiting a few weeks with someone that I want to date, they're getting to know me more than any of these other people are getting to know me, which I think in its way is special. And some people don't care about sex, you know? So other people do. It's very much so based on individual people.
Do you think for the most part though that guys are going to care about that?
Yeah.
Guys are going to care about who you've slept with, especially if they know the people.
Yeah, and
it's going to be an issue.
I think it's okay for them to care. I think it's okay for them to judge. I know we women, we also judge. I don't want to date someone with a huge body count, tons of one night stands. I think that goes both ways. You have a right to judge, you have a right to leave, but in the conversation of how we're feeling, we're just explaining that when we want a relationship with someone and we don't, things differ.
Yeah, right. I get that how you guys feel about it though, but do you empathize with how the guy feels about it? That's the different part.
And I'm saying they have a right to not be interested, they have a right to leave. I'm not saying they have to stick it through.
What's if you're dating somebody, say for the first few months or whatever it is, what are the most important factors to that? What's the most important thing for you that just says, is this guy worth dating or is he not?
Honesty. Yeah.
Anything else?
Loyalty.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So if he was not honest and loyal with you at the start, but you know that he was honest and loyal with 5 other girls, would that upset you?
Yeah, but that is not a comparison to...
Why not?
You can't compare.
Well, you just said it's most important. For one of the things that's most important for me is that she hasn't slept with a lot of people.
That's acceptable. If that's what's most important to you, then absolutely.
Right.
I'm not denying what you're saying or that you can get upset. That's not my argument at all.
But then I guess at the end of the day we kind of do agree in a way, because we're both allowed to have our standards, but the problem is that I get where you guys are coming from. Sometimes I don't really think that you girls really get where we're coming from, though. Like why we have those objections. And you tend to think about it from your own prism. But go on.
You had something?
Yes. Okay, so I think what we're talking about is, on both sides to even it, is that we're talking about the past, right?
Yes.
And that we don't know what happened in someone's past unless we choose to have a conversation with them. If we're judging them from their past right off, that's going to be your win or loss, and that's for you to decide if you want to have that conversation or not. People experience life and all parts of life and growing up in different ways, and possibly have trauma in different ways, and things happen. So it goes all from finding out those things. You know, if you don't know if that person grew up in a way that was normalized or whatever, and they were promiscuous when they were younger, but now they're realizing, oh, that we are more sacred, that I don't want to be giving my body out like that. Like, the best relationships are being able to see that person changed, and being that it's not, oh, you slept with all them first, why aren't you sleeping with me first? It's saying, okay, I can see you're at maybe a little bit more immature state of your time, of your life.
So you're saying that everybody grows up differently. We all have our past traumas, and sometimes, you know, you were promiscuous in the past, but now you've changed your ways, and somebody should accept you for that.
I don't like to use the word should. It's one of my things. I'm trying to eliminate that shit word, but
why not?
Should?
Yeah, it's quite a common word in the vernacular.
It is a very common word. There's a lot of common words that we could delete from our language, but should is a shit word. It just makes us judge each other, put ourselves against, like, compare ourselves to each other, and then it makes us give ourselves standards that we're not really doing. We're saying that, oh, we should do this, we should do this, we should do this. It's saying, like, you're putting yourself at failure. So
I have a question. I have a question on the should thing.
Yeah.
If you have a child, should you feed the child?
I mean, it is best looked upon to feed the child. Who's to say what one should or shouldn't do?
Hold on.
A child needs to eat.
So do you object to the following sentence?
Okay.
People should feed their children.
I say parents need to feed their children.
Okay.
But did you object to what he said and the way that he phrased it?
Do you also object to the word need? Because need seems much more powerful than should.
Well, I wasn't finishing my thing about it. So with should,
how do you feel about
anytime that you use should, you can mostly replace it with would or could. And would is the actual that you're willing to do it, or that you possibly could do it.
So what's your beef with should, though?
What's wrong with should? Should's a good. What
because
about ought?
Now you're just using synonyms.
Do you like ought? Sure. Ought is a good word.
I don't know what that means.
You don't know ought? Someone ought to do something.
Ought refers to it being a natural.
Should I Google it? Let me just Google the definition of ought.
Use that in sort of more religious talk.
Ought.
So this came to me though with when I had a boyfriend, right, that he was not getting his license. He had his license removed, and then he could get it back, and I was just like, he should get his license. He should get his license. And then someone asked me, who's to say what one should or shouldn't do? It's the whole butterfly effect. You don't know what's going to happen. If I pushed him and said, you should get your license, you should get your license, he gets his license and gets in a car accident. Who's to say that he was supposed to get his license at that time? Okay, it's all in people's own time to say.
I feel like you read this on a tarot card somewhere, and now you don't really know why you said it.
I actually have a whole curriculum for childcare based off of this.
Really? You teach kids that they shouldn't say should? Do you teach kids that they shouldn't say the word should?
I encourage education around the word.
I feel like when you say that people shouldn't say the word should, you're saying that there are no sort of there are no objective standards, so that people should do whatever they want to do all the time.
You can do whatever you want to do.
But is that your beef with should? Because you're telling people that we shouldn't say that people should do anything?
I'm not saying you shouldn't.
So, you know what I'm saying though. So is ultimately why you don't like the word should is because you don't believe that there should be objective standards. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not sure.
Because if I say that someone should feed their children, I think I could also say that someone ought to feed their children because it's like that makes sense to make it an ought claim. But if I say somebody should feed their children, I'm saying that there's
But
an
that's
objective
making it
standard.
right. Okay, so
Hold on a
yes.
second. I'm saying that there's an objective standard that we all have to abide by, that people should feed their children.
Should is a judgment. That's automatically making it that they will feed their children. They
Wait.
can feed their children. It
Do you-
doesn't matter. My judgment has no opinion.
Do you object to judgments?
I limit judgment.
I think it's a powerful word, I would say.
Should. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I just feel like that you're saying that because you don't believe that there is anything objective. Because then how can you eliminate the word should if you think that there are objectives?
Because in most times that you use the word should, from now forward in your future from here, try it. When you're about to say should, try to replace it with would or could.
No, because I actually have
And that will give you more integrity to your life. It won't make you be like, oh, I'm going to half-ass this, or I'm going to, I should do that.
I think this is
or
like
No.
fruitless
No,
conversation,
but I think
to be
that
honest.
It did definitely go
you
left
can-
field from what
It just depends on your worldview. That's why I find it interesting, though, because in my worldview, I have things that
I'd love to talk to you about this more on some
Sure.
other time.
I use should a lot as a positive, encouraging thing. Like, oh, you should do this to like inspire somebody. Like, I don't
But then
know.
that makes them feel like they're like, oh, I have to do this. It puts so much
not
pressure
have,
and the
should.
comparison on each other. It's not,
Iron
it's just not
sharpens
needed.
iron.
It's
Pressure's a
not
great
needed.
thing. Well, I do want to come back to the kind of the thing that we were talking
Can
about.
I put my when can I get back to
Is
that?
it about
'Cause
should?
I was trying to talk about the other thing.
Okay.
That was a fair statement. Going actually back
Nick,
to
can
the
you close the
whole
door?
What should women put into the relationship when men put into the relationship all these things that they're doing that we said that we wanted. Really, let's clear the elephant in the room that if men put in, women put out. That's pretty much it is. And yes, I totally understand what you're saying. And that if you see the woman and she's like, oh, you slept with all them. I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
And I am that old.
So you're saying that you said that if men put in, women put out. So
Yes.
if men put the effort in, then
Yes.
women put out.
And that's why another part
Doc
into why
Venabilly
we wait.
donated
Just one second.
$200. I'm amazed at the mental gymnastics these women perform to justify female promiscuity. Your fathers have failed you. I wonder what does basically India think about American loose women? Do you agree?
I wonder what does basically India think about American loose women. What do you think about American loose women?
Say it again, please.
So he said that what he said, not what I'm saying, is that these women at the table do mental gymnastics to justify female promiscuity. What do you think about American loose women, is what he said. Do you think that American women are loose?
Lose like what, the body?
No, as in like they don't have much standards.
I don't think so. It's nothing like that about standards or something. It's just what they are.
Are Indian women like more reserved? Would you say?
I don't think
Probably
so.
more
I'm here
traditional,
talking
or-
about sex. I'm
I
not
don't know. I
reserved.
kind of feel like they're more orgy-ish, but I'm
They
not
get pretty,
educated
like-
very
Orgy?
much.
Huh?
I don't
That
know.
came out of left
I
field.
don't know. I
Indian
just find
women.
India like very like open and like
You could
in,
like
in,
Kama
like,
Sutra.
private
Is that what she's
settings.
Yeah, Indians get freaky.